Welcome back to Bill's Odyssey. Today, we're going on an epic adventure across Portugal, one of the most beautiful and historically rich countries in the world. From breathtaking landscapes to ancient castles, and from vibrant cities to tranquil islands, Portugal has it all. So please consider hitting that subscribe button. Before we dive into the top 10 must-visit places, let me hit you with a few fun facts about this incredible country that will make you fall in love with it even more. Did you know that Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe? It's been around for nearly 900 years with the same borders. And here's something that'll make you smile. Portugal is home to the oldest bookstore in the world. Bertrand Bookstore in Lisbon has been selling books since 1732. Imagine all the stories those walls could tell. Portugal also holds the title for the world's largest wave ever surfed, a mind-blowing 101.4 feet tall. It happened in Nazaré, a coastal town known for its monster waves. So, if you're into surfing, or just watching in awe from the safety of the shore, this is the place to be. Alright, now that you've got a little taste of what makes Portugal so special, let's dive into the top 10 must-visit places that you absolutely can't miss. Trust me, there's a reason this country is on everyone's travel bucket list. Stick around till the end because I've saved the best for last. Let's do this. Number 10, Douro Valley, the birthplace of port wine. The Douro Valley, where the hills are as smooth as the port wine they produce. If you're a wine lover, this place is basically heaven on earth. But even if you're not, the Douro Valley will still blow you away with its stunning scenery. Did you know that the Douro Valley is one of the oldest wine regions in the world? Yep, it's been producing wine since Roman times. And the port wine, named after the nearby city of Porto, is famous worldwide. You can take a river cruise along the Douro, sip some wine, and pretend you're a 17th century aristocrat. It's the perfect mix of relaxation and history. Fun fact, the terraced vineyards here are so unique that the Douro Valley is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And trust me, those sunsets over the river are Instagram gold. So don't forget to pack your camera, and maybe a corkscrew. Welcome to Obidos, our 9th spot. This is a place straight out of a fairy tale. If you've ever dreamed of wandering through a medieval village, this is your spot. And let me tell you, it's got everything: narrow streets, charming houses, and even a castle. Behold, the Obidos Castle. Built in the 12th century, this fortress has seen countless battles, royal weddings, and even a few ghosts. Just kidding. And if you're a bookworm, you'll love Obidos even more. This village is known as the Town of Books, and they even host a literary festival every year. Imagine reading a classic novel inside a medieval church. Talk about atmosphere. Here's a cool tidbit. The entire village was once a wedding gift from King Dinis to Queen Isabel in the 13th century. So, if you're looking to impress your significant other, this might just give you some inspiration. Next up, we're heading to Madeira, an island so beautiful, you'll think you've stepped into a tropical paradise. Madeira is often called the Island of Eternal Spring, and for good reason. The weather here is perfect pretty much all year round. Madeira is a hiker's dream. These levadas, ancient irrigation channels, crisscross the island, leading you through lush forests, past waterfalls, and up to jaw-dropping viewpoints. And don't forget to try the Madeira wine, a sweet, fortified wine that's been made here for centuries. How's that for a taste of history? Here's a quirky fact. Madeira is also famous for its New Year's Eve fireworks show, which is so spectacular it holds a Guinness World Record. If you're planning a visit, try to be here for the new year. It's a party you won't forget. At 7, I welcome to Sintra, the land where dreams and reality blur. This place is like a real-life fantasy world, with palaces, castles, and mystical forests. If fairies and wizards exist, I'm pretty sure they live here. Check out the Peña Palace. Built in 1854, it's like someone took every architectural style they could think of and mashed them all together. Gothic, Renaissance, Moorish, you name it. But somehow, it works, and the result is pure magic. And then there's Quinta da Regalera, a place filled with hidden tunnels, secret passages, and an inverted tower that seems to spiral down into the earth. It's like stepping into a Dan Brown novel. Here's a fun bit of trivia. Sintra was so beloved by the 19th century poet Lord Byron that he called it a glorious Eden, and honestly, I can see why. If you're into history, architecture, or just getting lost in a beautiful place, Sintra should be at the top of your list. At the sixth spot, we have the Algarve. If you're looking for sun, sea, and sand, this is the place to be. The Algarve is Portugal's southernmost region, and it's famous for its stunning coastline, charming villages, and endless sunshine. It's the perfect spot to kick back and relax, or have an adventure. You've probably seen pictures of the Benegal Cave. It's one of the Algarve's most famous spots. But trust me, seeing it in person is a whole different experience. You can kayak right into the cave, and the light filtering through the hole in the ceiling makes it feel like you've entered another world. And don't forget the towns. Lagos, for example, is a mix of history and fun. You can wander through 16th century walls, visit old fortresses, and then hit up some of the best bars and restaurants in the region. It's like time traveling with a cocktail in hand. The Algarve is also a golfer's paradise, with over 30 golf courses to choose from. So if you're a fan of the greens, this is your place. And even if you're not, the scenery alone is worth the trip. Welcome to Coimbra at 5, the city that's as old as time and as young as a college student. Coimbra is home to one of the oldest universities in the world, founded way back in 1290. This place is a living, breathing history book, but with a youthful vibe that keeps it feeling fresh and exciting. Check this out. This is the Joanina Library, one of the most stunning libraries you'll ever see. With its Baroque architecture, intricate woodwork, and thousands of ancient books, it's like stepping into a Harry Potter movie. Just don't touch the books, they're over 300 years old. And then there's fado, the soulful music of Portugal. Coimbra has its own unique style of fado, sung traditionally by male students. It's haunting, emotional, and will give you chills, in the best way possible. Here's a cool fact. Every year, the students here celebrate the Queimar das Fitas, or burning of the ribbons, where they ceremoniously burn their academic ribbons to mark the end of their studies. It's a centuries-old tradition that's still going strong today. Talk about school spirit. Next up at 4, we're in Evora, a city that takes you through centuries of history in just one afternoon. From Roman ruins to medieval cathedrals, Evora is like a time capsule that lets you walk through the ages. This is the Chapel of Bones, one of the creepiest yet most fascinating places in Portugal. The inscription at the entrance reads, "We bones that are here, for yours await." Yikes! The chapel was built by 16th century monks as a reminder of the transitory nature of life. It's a little morbid, but it's also incredibly intriguing. Other must-see structures are the Temple Romano Evora, also known as the Templo de Diana, which was built in the 1st century AD, also the Cathedral of Evora, which was built between 1186 and 1204, and has been enlarged through the centuries. And let's not forget the food. Evora is in the heart of the Alentejo region, known for its rich and hearty cuisine. Think slow-cooked meats, delicious bread, and some of the best olive oil you'll ever taste. It's comfort food at its finest. Fun fact: Evora's historic center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and for good reason. The entire city is like a living museum, with ancient streets, beautiful squares, and more history than you can shake a stick at. It's a must-visit for any history buff. Now, if you're a nature lover, the Azores are going to blow your mind. This archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean is like Portugal's version of Hawaii, but with its own unique flair. Volcanic landscapes, crater lakes, hot springs, this place is a natural wonderland. Check this out, this is Sete Cidades, one of the most iconic spots in the Azores. It's a twin lake crater, with one lake green and the other blue. The legend goes that the lakes were formed from the tears of a shepherd and a princess who were forbidden to be together. Now that's romantic. And if you're into wildlife, the Azores are one of the best places in the world for whale watching. You can spot sperm whales, dolphins, and even the occasional blue whale. It's like being in a National Geographic documentary, except you're the one with the camera. Here's a fun fact. The Azores are one of the few places in the world where you can swim with wild dolphins. And trust me, it's an experience you'll never forget. So if you're looking for adventure, the Azores should definitely be on your list. At number 2, I welcome to Porto, the city of bridges, wine, and invincible spirit. Porto is the second largest city in Portugal, and it's got a vibe all its own. It's vibrant, historic, and full of life. No wonder it's often called the Invincible City. The Ribeira district is the heart and soul of Porto. You can wander through its maze-like streets, take in the colourful buildings, and enjoy the views over the Douro River. It's the perfect place to get lost, and trust me, you'll want to. And of course, you can't come to Porto without trying some port wine. These wine cellars along the river have been aging port for centuries, and a tasting tour is a must. Did you know that the Dom Lois I bridge was designed by a disciple of Gustave Eiffel, the guy who designed the Eiffel Tower? So if it looks a bit familiar, that's why. And the views from the top are absolutely breathtaking, so make sure to bring your camera. And while you're here, take in the sights of Bolsa Palace. The Stock Exchange Palace was built in the 19th century, and the Porto Cathedral, this building was completed in 1737. And finally, we've made it to number 1, Lisbon, the City of Light. Lisbon is the capital of Portugal and one of the most charismatic and vibrant cities in Europe. It's a city that perfectly blends old-world charm with modern energy, and there's something here for everyone. One of the best ways to explore Lisbon is by hopping on tram 28. This iconic yellow tram takes you through some of the city's most historic neighborhoods, including Alfama, where you'll find narrow streets, ancient buildings, and the sounds of fado music drifting through the air. It's like taking a time machine through Lisbon's history. And you can't leave Lisbon without trying a pastel de nata, a delicious custard tart that's crispy on the outside and creamy on the inside. Trust me, one bite and you'll be hooked. In fact, I'd recommend getting 2, or 3, or just a whole box. Here's a cool fact. Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in Europe, even older than Rome. It's been inhabited since around 1200 BC, which means there's a ton of history to explore. From the stunning Jeronimo's Monastery, which was first opened in 1495, to the historic Belém Tower, this 16th century fortification served as a point of embarkation and disembarkation for Portuguese explorers and as a ceremonial gateway to Lisbon. This and so much more makes Lisbon a history lover's paradise. So there you have it, my top 10 must-visit places in Portugal. But honestly, this list just scratches the surface. Portugal is a country full of surprises, where every corner has a story to tell. Whether you're drawn by the history, the landscapes, the food, or the people, there's something here that will capture your heart. Thanks for joining me on this odyssey, and if you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. There's plenty more adventures where this came from, and I can't wait to share them with you. So thanks for watching. Until next time, keep exploring, look after each other, and see you in the next video. Safe travels!